Welcome back, everybody. It's time for the hot tags of the week. Some different rumors or stories or news or odd topics or whatever the hell we decide to talk about that's went down over the past couple of days. And let's start off with something that really it's not too much to talk about, but I just figured it'd be kind of interesting to put out there. Did you guys know that Finn Balor was one of those masked people during Triple H's entrance at WrestleMania this year?
No, I did not, but it's kind of funny that he's still given job a duties like that.
More than likely, I would assume he wanted to be. Like, he was just kind of like, dude.
Yeah, they probably just went to the locker room and was like, all right, who wants to go out there and do this? And he probably was like, dude, I'm in.
Right.
This sounds cool.
Because he's not wrestling on the card, so he doesn't have like anything else to do, but it's like, yo, I want to be that guy. Like how DDP was with Eddie's entrance or whatever. And didn't Punk do that for somebody once?
Yeah, he was on John Cena's car. I think it was.
Yeah, but at that point,
21
he was
or 22.
nobody, so they probably like told him he was doing it.
Yeah.
So
He
I
was
mean,
just- that was when he was Chubby Punk.
that's what the C stands for.
Chubby Monkey.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of like we had with Triple H a couple of years ago with Alexa Bliss and Sasha and Charlotte. Like, bring a couple NXT people in there. That's kind of interesting. Let's move on, though, to something that's just ridiculous. You guys remember Crimson from TNA?
Yeah, he's tall.
Tall, Irish kind of guy, sort of
Stole-
looked like he had no soul.
Stole his gimmick from somebody on the Independents and had a lawsuit over it.
Yeah, well, apparently he just got arrested for domestic assault for headbutting his wife. So, he's going somewhere. I don't remember when he's been like out of the company or anything because it's TNA. I don't pay much attention to it or whatever. But it's just like I'm looking through the news reports and stuff, and it's like, you know, let's see what this TNA report has to be. Is it something bad? Yup. Crimson arrested for headbutting his wife. Just goes to show you how great some of the talent is. I assume nobody really has anything to say about this, right? All right. Media tycoon John de Mol. Anybody know much about him? I was trying to Google him real quick, and I didn't really come across all that much. He apparently wants to buy WWE, and WWE keeps going like, "Nah, dude," and he's like, "Nah, but come on."
What's his name?
John de Mol.
Like D-U?
DEMOL.
D-E-M-O-L. The Mall.
It's just like one of those guys where you look up what he does, and it's like he owns this thing that owns this thing that owns this thing, and some fucking per capita, whatever.
A
like
Dutch media tycoon. I don't know. He probably is worth more money than Vince, so I guess.
maybe, but he apparently wants to buy WWE, and they're just like, we're not interested in ever selling. So that kind of makes me bring up this topic. Do you guys think that Vince McMahon in any scenario would ever really sell WWE?
Yeah, when he
Can they
realizes it
sell
doesn't make him money.
Can they sell WWE? I mean, isn't it like
Yeah,
don't
they
bunch
could
of
sell.
people?
They could sell their majority share. Absolutely, they could sell it.
Okay, like I'm not sure how all that works, so that's why I asked.
It's basically you sell all your stock, and then they become the one that controls everything. So it's
Okay.
not like actually selling over, like, I'm going to give you my car for this amount of money, and then whatever. It's more like money kind of weird thing.
So they don't really own the company, but they've got control of the company.
You know, they own the company. They own the majority of the company.
Yeah.
But there's also a bunch of other owners, whoever owns stock.
Yeah, so they can always kick people out and stuff, like, because it's a publicly traded company, so it's not just like a mom and pop store, so it doesn't work the same kind of way. But I mean,
And
it's essentially the same.
It's weird, and just because you're a majority owner doesn't mean you like actually do anything.
Right?
You know, you might just own it and just collect dividends.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't mean you're the CEO or
You're not
chair.
making creative decisions necessarily, because the
Mhm.
board could just be like, "You're a fucking idiot," but you own the company, so. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine in any scenario that Vince would ever sell.
No.
Like, they would have to be like so bankrupt. And by that point, he probably would just change it into something else, you know?
No, but I really think the only time he would ever sell a company is when he realizes he won't make money off it anymore, and he sells it at the right time.
I'm pretty sure they would figure out a way to always make at least some money. Like, they would cut back on whatever they would need to, or like...
But the thing is, I don't think they would be in a situation where they would need to sell it
Right.
for a number of years. He'll be dead for a long time before the wrestling industry will really.
It
be
is
any
such a
serious-
machine at this point.
Right.
and they're just going to keep on expanding. This is a family business. Like the whole thing that Shane was mentioning about wanting it to be there for the 4th generation, the 5th generation, that's what it's going to be. You know, pending world apocalypse or something like that. Like that's how WWE will be.
Pending WWE Armageddon. It's coming back. Yeah, I can't see a scenario where that ever happens. And for that matter, I can't even see a scenario where WWE just isn't around. Like, if pro wrestling itself were to die, that's the only way that WWE doesn't stick around. But, John de Mol, you're not getting the company anytime soon. We have a new WWE Studios film called Temple, which is going to be starring Seth Rollins, Wesley Snipes, and Heche, and Dave Annable. Annable, yeah, I guess so, I don't know. It says the team of operatives find themselves trapped inside an isolated military compound after the artificial intelligence is suddenly shut down. Anybody interested in this?
I mean, Seth Rollins, so maybe.
Yeah, but for every Seth Rollins, you've got an Anne Heche and a Wesley Snipes.
Come on, Wesley Snipes is not that bad.
You know, this movie they have with Dolph Ziggler and Kane, that looked pretty cool. That might actually be my favorite movie they've ever done once I get to see it.
What's the deal with that one? It's like somebody has a bomb in a WWE event?
Yeah. So, like, they're going in there and, like, fucking New Day's wrestling the Ascension in the ring, and, like, Russo's in the back, and he, like, grabs a gun.
Yeah, I don't get this. Like, I'm so curious.
After that bump thread at the one pay-per-view, I'm surprised they did this.
Probably where they got the idea.
This is fucking amazing. I cannot wait for that movie. And I was like, man, I'm hoping they finally like are actually learning how to do these movies, these wrestlers, and they'll keep following this up. Like, you know, you could do something like Ride Along, like where it starts with like them just riding in the car, but then all of a sudden, like, it turns into Speed where they can't stop the car and they have to keep going. And they have all these cameras rigged in the car while they're doing it.
It's going to be Ride Along very fast.
If they do that, Ryback has to be one of the main characters.
Well, that's if they do that. Ride Along has to be spelled with a Y.
Actually, no. Ryback can't be in the car. He has to be the one on the phone giving him motivational and positivity.
Ryback should be the villain.
And he's in the back seat. There you go. We just wrote a movie for you, WWE. And it's not going to be Ryback starring as himself. It's going to be like Kali starring as Ryback.
It could be called Rideback because he's riding in the back.
Yeah. So, I'm just curious about that countdown thing because of Rusev holding a gun. Like, just what? But this seems more like a normal type of the Marine type of film, you know, whatever. It's just like...
Yeah, it's gonna fucking suck.
Yeah. I still have not watched a single WWE Studios film.
I hear the Dean Ambrose one wasn't bad.
Huh. Which one was that? That was,
12 rounds 2 or 3?
You know what? I bet it was just some fucking Smark that loves Ambrose going, yeah, it's fucking
rounds.
great, better than John Cena.
Ocean's 11 rounds, whatever it might be.
I think they've done a few good movies. The Marine one with The Miz was actually pretty good. That's my favorite of all the Marines. The Kane See No Evil movie, Big Show's Knucklehead was actually pretty funny.
Big Show's Gun was probably better. It'd be a great movie if they did that. He goes on like a Dirty Harry shooting spree. Oh man, I want to see that one. Let's see. Last thing I have down here. This is for those who pay attention to the Total Divas stuff, but I know that none of us really watch it. I half-ass watch it, and I think that Drew kind of half-ass watches it once in a while. But
what?
Total Divas.
Shit. I can't remember the last time I watched a full episode of Total Divas. It's been a while.
It's a garbage show, but what's interesting about this is not, you know, what'll happen on the next season, because who fucking cares, but it's who's going to be a part of it. They're getting rid of Mandy Rose, that chick Amanda from Tough Enough, and they're getting rid of Alicia Fox, and they're getting rid of Rosa Mendes. And they're replacing them with Naomi's coming back, which is like, whatever. Renee Young's going to be a part of it. Lana's going to be a part of it. And most importantly of all, Maryse is going to be a part. So for those that were wondering whether or not Maryse is going to stick around for a little bit, this pretty much seals the deal. She's going to be back in the company. So do you guys think this means she's going to be wrestling too, or is she just going to be a manager?
I honestly don't give a fuck.
At some point, I wouldn't be surprised if they have her come out for like one mixed tag match in some sorts, but I wouldn't be expecting it anytime soon. I have no problem if she does something like that.
The only thing I can say is I don't want her to wrestle. I've got no interest in just seeing the whole Barbie doll wrestling thing still happening. If you're not a wrestler, don't get in there. Simple as.
Peyton, do you think that this is going to be any kind of like a big shift now that we have the whole, it's not divas anymore, it's just the women's stuff?
What's going to be any different?
Well, they got to try to make it seem like they're not just like these catty, bitchy type of people or whatever, if they want to try to get away from that. Or do you think it's going to be like, well, let's not talk about divas on the show wrestling-wise, but push it all to Total Divas?
What?
Like, we have this whole concern
Your
effort
line of
of...
questioning is like really off, dude. You might want to go back to the beginning.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, dude, I did not understand what you were going to. I mean,
Right.
Bottom line, dude, like, I don't give a shit. Like, this is like I hate to take the easy route out, but this is like a show that's been going on way too long. If they want to try to retool it, that's great. But you know what it's just going to end up being is NXT Redemption.
Basically, what I was trying to say was, if we have this whole thing where it's going, we're not the Divas Championship anymore. Divas stuff is like pushed aside. It's all women's stuff, and we're trying to be a little bit less of that, the butterfly belt and whatever. The Total Divas show is basically built around that concept, and it seems kind of counterproductive. And you bring somebody like a Maryse and a Lana, Renee Young. I mean, Renee Young's not really the type, but Maryse and Lana, like, they're not the whole, we're deep into women's wrestling. Lana just started getting into it or whatever, but that seems to be more like the total opposite of what they're going for, which is kind of weird.
I never got
really
any
matter.
feeling they were. Yeah, I didn't get any feeling they're moving away from that on the show. It's still going to be called Total Divas. That's still what brought them to the dance with that show. Just because they're changing the belt doesn't mean they're completely abandoning that image. And these are still women that are going. These dudes are still going to go out there and act macho. Women are still going to go out there and act catty.
Yep, good point.
I do want to mention one more thing though,
Go for it.
and it's Peyton will say they could turn into NXT Redemption. All I'm saying is, what did NXT Redemption turn into at some point?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it got canceled, and then they just happened to use the same brand because they already had the
Yeah,
copyright.
it didn't turn into it at all. It's just
Yeah,
it's just they had to pay someone off a lot of money for that name.
No, they canceled it. They turned it into something else.
They didn't turn it into anything else.
It's good. Yeah.
All right, guys, those are the hot tags of the week. Make sure you leave your comments below. Tell us what you think about these different subjects. We're going to take a break with the rest hold, and then we're going to come back and start talking about Belt or Bury, Zack Ryder or The Miz.